Just imagine the pain of losing someone you love and then noticing small and sometimes more prominent, unexplainable signs that make you stop and wonder. Could they be trying to tell you something? Linda McCarthy's story is a powerful example of how paying attention to subtle signs can remind us that those we've lost are still watching over us. After the heartbreaking loss of her son Sean, Linda began to notice remarkable signs that helped her find healing and strength. Let's start with a brief audio clip.
And I remember saying, okay, I need a sign just from you. Like maybe I started doubting. And I said, maybe that light was you. Maybe it was a fluke. I don't know. But I need something from you. And I heard a voice clearly say, look behind the picture in the library.
Sean had just achieved the rank of lieutenant in the US Navy and was preparing to move into his new apartment in Virginia Beach. He decided to spend a week with his parents before settling in, a decision that would later feel so significant. During that time, he shopped for his new place, shared quality time with his dad, and shared so many small, meaningful moments with Linda. At the time, nothing seemed particularly out of the ordinary, but looking back, Linda realised it was as if their souls knew it was goodbye. When the week came to an end, Linda hugged Sean tightly and for the first time ever said, "Don't go." Even when Sean had left for Iraq in the past, she'd never said those words to him. But this time, something in her heart was different. Sean kissed her on the forehead and reassured her, saying, "Mum, don't be weird. I have to go." Linda let him go, but later she would reflect on that moment and realise just how much her heart had known what her mind couldn't comprehend. After Sean moved into his new apartment in Virginia Beach, he stayed in touch with Linda, sending pictures and updates. He was excited about the little things like his new furniture and having his own washer and dryer. He mentioned he'd be busy for the next few days as he was going to host a World Cup party on Sunday night. He said, "If I don't call you, don't freak out. I'll talk to you on Sunday after the party." On Sunday, Linda kept her phone close, waiting for Sean's call. When it didn't come, she told herself he was probably busy or had misplaced his phone, something he often did. But deep down, she couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't right. On Monday, after a worried phone call from his girlfriend, Linda called the Virginia Beach police and requested a wellness check at Sean's apartment. Hours later, a detective called back, informing her that Sean's car had been found in the parking lot. Her heart sank. When the detective called again, the words were devastating. "I'm sorry to inform you, your son is deceased. We found him in his apartment." He said it in such a matter-of-fact way. The grief was overwhelming, consuming her completely. Sean died of a gunshot wound. Yet even through the immense sorrow, Sean began to make his presence known, sending signs that became a lifeline for Linda. One of the first signs came when Linda travelled to Virginia Beach to bring Sean's remains home. As she unpacked her luggage, she found a large white feather lying on top of her clothes. It was pristine, impossibly perfect, and completely out of place. "I knew it was spirit telling me everything was going to be okay," she said. That feather became a symbol of Sean's presence, a message that he was still with her, watching over her. While she was there, Linda's sister purchased a Coca-Cola bottle from a vending machine. She took it back into the hotel room, and we then noticed the label. We both froze. The name Sean was printed on it, spelled exactly as Linda's son had spelled his name. These small, seemingly coincidental moments began to accumulate. One of the most profound experiences Linda shared was a vivid and unforgettable visitation dream. It was at the hotel. In this dream, Sean appeared in his navy dress whites, standing tall, radiant, and holding a baby wrapped in a blue blanket. He smiled warmly at her and said, "I have to go home now, Mum. I have my brother with me." Linda was immediately struck by the image of the baby. It was the baby boy she had miscarried years earlier. The dream was bittersweet. While it brought Linda a wave of peace and comfort, it also stirred a deep longing to hold her son again. Seeing Sean so vibrant and happy, with his brother in his arms, reassured Linda that her boys were safe, whole, and together on the other side. Shortly after Linda returned home, she found herself drawn to the love seat where Sean would always sit. It was positioned near a tall light, which could only be turned on by reaching behind the couch to flip a switch. One night, unable to sleep in her bed, Linda chose to sleep on the couch. Sean's urn was in the library nearby, and she wanted to be close to him. That night, as she lay awake, she spoke to Sean. "If you're around, show me." "Let me see," she said, longing for a sign. Moments later, the tall light turned on by itself. It began to glow. It grew brighter and brighter, filling the room with an unexpected warmth. Linda felt a wave of comfort wash over her, easing her restless mind. For the first time in days, she pulled a blanket over herself, lay down on the couch, and fell into a deep sleep. The next morning, her husband noticed the light was still on. "Why did you turn that light on?" "You can't sleep with a light on," he said, confused. Linda replied, "I didn't, Sean did." Her husband, who didn't believe in the afterlife, gave her a skeptical look, shook his head and muttered, Okay. But Linda stood by what she had experienced. She knew Sean had been there. That morning, as Linda was sitting with her feet dangling in the spa thinking of Sean, she found herself speaking aloud, asking Sean directly, "I need a sign, just from you, something clear. Maybe that light was you, or maybe it wasn't, I don't know, but I need something." As she sat quietly, a voice came through, clear and unmistakable. It said, "Look behind the picture in the library." The words startled her. She paused for a moment, unsure if she had imagined it, but the voice was so distinct, so direct, that she couldn't ignore it. It was a moment that would soon give her the confirmation she desperately needed. She found 3 handwritten notes from Sean tucked behind a photo frame. One of them simply read, "Feel better, Mum." That note, written years earlier, surfaced when she needed it most. It was as if Sean knew the exact moment to remind her of his love and that he is watching over her. These weren't the only signs. Sean's name began to appear unexpectedly on the TV screen when it was off, catching Linda by surprise. And songs that held special meaning to their relationship would play unexpectedly. Nature, too, became a messenger of Sean's presence. One day, as Linda sat in her courtyard, a hummingbird hovered near her shoulder. It lingered for what felt like an eternity, its iridescent wings shimmering in the sunlight. "I knew it was Sean, sending me a message," she said. These small but profound moments became her anchor, grounding her in the knowledge that Sean was never far away. Through these signs and many more, Linda's grief transformed into something new. She realised her relationship with Sean hadn't ended, it had simply changed. Inspired by these experiences, Linda became an afterlife researcher, grief counsellor, and author. Her book, The Myth of Dying, explores her journey and offers resources for those navigating loss. She now dedicates her life to helping others recognise the signs from their loved ones and find hope in the midst of despair. Have you ever wondered if that unexplainable moment of comfort was your loved one, letting you know you're not alone, like when Linda discovered the pristine white feather in her luggage? It's a quiet moment that makes you pause and ask, what if? For more heartfelt stories like this, or to explore incredible accounts about pets, click here or visit my channel to explore the growing playlist. Thank you for watching, and until next time, take care and keep an open heart. See you soon.